Hello guys and welcome to today's video. And before this video begins, I want to say that there are 5 timestamps given in the description below. If you want to skip to one timestamp, if you want to skip, you can click directly on the description timestamp. And please make sure to watch the full video. I have to do a lot of research and hard work, and I hope you guys enjoy. So welcome ladies and gentlemen, and today I'm going to talk about the evolution of DJing or the history of DJing. But let's talk about how it all started. It wasn't coined till 1930s. After 1930, world's first DJ, which we can consider Jimmy Savile, in 1943 played jazz records, and the first show, The Function Room, was played in Loyal Order of Ancient Shepherds in Otley, England. He later became radio DJ in 1958 at Radio Luxembourg. Quite different, because at that time the DJs were used to play just records through the vinyl CDs, as if you can see on the screen right now. And then the world's first nightclub was opened in London. DJing from London spread it all over the world. In 1950s, American radio DJs started appearing at sock hops and parties as a human jukebox who used to play just songs. There was no special equipment for monitoring the like today's DJ matching, beat matching, scratching type of thing was not invented at that time. Among them, Bob Casey came up the most and brought 2 turntables, which were the vinyl records, you can see that time, to US. In late 1950s, sound systems developed in ghettos of Kingston, Jamaica. DJs called themselves as promoters. This is the way how the spread began, guys. Like, from DJs were known as promoters, where they used to corner one street or party which was centered by them, by the selectors. Then they used to bring a guy with them, or a person who can rhythmically chant over the music, dance music, and it was called toasting, and it played a vital role, because in old movies, or you can say the old school type of stuff, they played a vital role in interacting with the audience to bring remarks. This gave a huge boost to promoters due to sale of alcohol and food, leading to growth of DJing as well. Then we come to the part of 1960s and 70s. DJing continues to grow in discos, in nightclubs in Europe and United States. By the time there was an upgradation in disco jockey gear, like Rudy Bozak's classic CMA 10 2DL mixer began to appear on the market, brought the DJing in mainly in scene. Then the concept of beat matching in 1960s and 70s was introduced. It was basically a transition between 2 songs on the same BPM or tempo, which will help which creates a transition kind of, and helps in merging the songs if they are in same key. And this was introduced by Francis Grasso in 1969 from America. And another technique, slip queuing, was introduced by Grasso again, by holding the record while the other song is playing and slipping it while the song was finished. It's kind of like a transition to the another song. I hope the DJs will understand it. For normal human language, I can say that it was a type of mixing where one song is played and you hold the other song and let it go when the other song finishes, in simple terms. And this was mainly used in radios and stuff. And then in 1968, there was a huge downfall in the dance clubs because of the live bands. There were growth of rock bands and stuff. Till that time, the DJing was going down. But in 1973, DJ Kool Herc, aka father of hip hop culture, please remember this name, father of hip hop culture, performed at block parties introduced mixing back and forth between two records. This was the key time when the hip hop and DJing came together and gave themselves a huge rise in the whole musical industry. In 1970s, soul funk blend of dance pop. Now bands were also collaborating with the DJs and forming fusion, or were going in mainstream pop charts in US and Europe. This is how the DJs began to grow. Then in 1975, scratching was introduced. Scratching, another important DJing technique skill, which needs to be mastered very well in order to become a huge DJ. But this technique was introduced in 1975 by DJ Grand Wizard Theodore by accident. See, he was just playing the record and it just came on. He just scratched the disc and it sounded cool. And then in 1980s, MTV came into the scene with video jockey, which we can say like music videos, and introducing the concept in front of youth audience, leading to complete downfall of disco music in nightclubs. As a result, they have to either close their nightclubs, or they have to do the same thing what MTV does, like showing off mainstream songs on a video, dancing or live bands. Then in 1982, synthesizers were being introduced with hip-hop song, creating melodic electro hip-hop beats influenced by Yellow Magic Orchestra. So this led to the beginning of music production in DJing as well, because these electronic mixes later converted in the form of EDM, and the synthesizers were the key to all the EDM stuff. Then in New York City, disco DJ Larry Levin, known for electrical mixes in the nightclub in Chicago, started the first hip house music culture, which is still among the top music genres in the world. And basically its name came from the club which he used to play, Warehouse, in Chicago. So from Warehouse he took the house and created house music culture. But then Jesse Sanders released the first house music track, On and On. First house music track, remember that. Later in 1980s, techno music was introduced, and it was distanced from the disco roots, basically, because it has just a similar beat going to it and give it an electronic feel to it, and it's basically not basically for dancing, but the listeners are still listening to it till date. Right now, you can witness right now many DJs are famous in techno music also. Then techno music was basically emerged from Detroit. Yeah, and then the period of 1990s came. And the rave scene was just beginning in the audience. The acid house scene came in, and as the music changed, the DJ's image also changed, and nature of promoting also changed. In 1992, then MPEG-1 standard was introduced, which we currently use as MP3, producing reasonable sound at low bit rates. And the MPEG full form is known as Movies Pictures Experts Group. The guy or the company who created this gave it his own name. And then this was the period where the computers started to arrive in the DJing scene, where DJs started using computers instead of vinyls and turntables, because turntables are expensive. Not everyone can buy turntables. Then in 2000, the era where the electronic dance music was introduced, EDM was basically introduced, and it took a huge new level in the 2000s because of the company named Pioneer released SVM 1000 audio and video mixer, and is still date the most successful and most popular company in the field of DJing for its equipments, which I have used, and it's so good, but it's expensive, so I cannot use it, But But then digital mixers introduced the concept of EDM, and virtual DJing became a thing, which is still a thing. Then with the proliferation of internet, technologies have created culture of disc jockey. This led to a huge increase in the DJing scene and introduced the concept of DJ battles, which created a competitiveness among the DJs. EDM was introduced, but in the half of 2000s, many DJs arrived in the scene using computer software to create electronic music such as Ableton and then FL Studio and many more like Cubase, which are still till date one of the best softwares for producing music and are used at industry level in creating cinematic music, EDM and what not you cannot create with this digital audio workstations right now. And this led to the rise of Daft Punk, David Guetta, Swedish House Mafia and many more. By this time, DJs were regularly filling stadiums in Los Angeles, many festivals like Coachella, and one of them among that time at most famous was EDC Vegas basically. And the DJing scene completely changed from scratching, beat matching to production based and electronic feel. Basically we can say that DJing is not just about your skill level but your popularity also, and an image of a DJ is considered according to his basically skills, but with the production level he can grasp all the audience with his music. That's it for my side, and hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you for watching.